So if you guys may or may not know, ever since Asuka made her debut back in NXT in 2016 or 2015, I've been a huge fan of Asuka. I mean, I watched her chase the NXT Women's Championship, win the NXT Women's Championship, hold on to it for 513 days, relinquish the NXT Women's Championship because no one could beat her, then go to the main roster where I thought they're going to ruin this woman. And to that fact, I was pretty right about that. But if it didn't all start off like that, they called her up, they were treating her right, she won the Royal Rumble, and it seemed like they were on the road to her going to WrestleMania to beat Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship, except she didn't. For some reason, they had Charlotte Flair beat Asuka at WrestleMania. To this day, I do not understand what was the point of Charlotte winning that match. You have this hot woman who coming in undefeated, longest reign in of the era at that time at least, and the Queen has to vanquish her for what reason other than, oh, it's Charlotte and we have to give her another moniker to her name. I just am so befuddled by that decision to this day. Only for Charlotte to lose the title to, of all people, Carmella by a Money in the Bank cash-in. So that just made it even a worse stinger. Carmella then went on to challenge Asuka later on, and she beat Asuka via pinfall. So Asuka took her first pin to Carmella of all people. And just after that, Asuka was just never the same. They had her paired up with Naomi. They had her just in the midst of SmackDown Live doing whatever. They just used and abused this woman the entire time. And I was like, well, there's no hope for her. Fast forward to the end of the year, Becky Lynch come back from her injury, and it seems like out of nowhere, Asuka wins a Battle Royal to be inserted into the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, I was happy about this because Asuka's finally getting a championship match after months of, playing around with fucking Naomi of all people. But I was like, okay, this is great. So I'm going about this. I'm keeping my wits about me. I'm like, okay, we have two women that I want to win and one win, and I'm just like, please have her stay away from this title. I'm starting to become very much over this whole Charlotte Flair reign. It's really starting to look way too reminiscent of Triple H from 2002 or Roman Reigns from 2016. I've been saying that for a very long time now, and people are just now starting to catch on to it. So we go into TLC 2018, and I had the mindset of, okay, here's what I think is going to happen. Becky walks in as champion. Charlotte Flair wins the championship. Yeah, I don't know, right? Charlotte Flair wins the championship. It sets up Asuka contending for the championship again. Maybe they're going to do a rematch at WrestleMania between Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Asuka gets her ring back. And as for the Raw Women's Championship, Becky never got her match against Ronda Rousey that was supposed to happen because of fucking Nia Jax. So what's going to happen is Becky goes on to win the Royal Rumble match, challenges Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. We get the first ever female WrestleMania main event where Becky Lynch finally is the one to beat Ronda Rousey. That's how I thought it was all going to play out. We get to the pay-per-view and Asuka wins. And I'm excited. I'm happy about this. I'm out of my seat, I'm cheering, I'm clapping, and then as soon as I end the live stream, I've overcame with this feeling of confusion, because now I sit here and I wonder, well, what are they going to do with Asuka then? Because not only did Asuka win the championship, but Ronda Rousey came out and interfered in this match. Ronda helped Asuka win this match. Ronda Rousey did not go after all three women. She only went after Charlotte Flair and Becky. So she basically helped Asuka win, which I feel just really diminishes the championship win overall. I think she really should have beat him on her own, and you could have done the whole Ronda interference thing on another day, but whatever. So now you have Asuka as the SmackDown Women's Champion, but with Ronda coming out and going after Becky and Charlotte, it seems like they have unfinished business between the trio of those women. So we're about to go into the Royal Rumble, and Asuka is the women's champion. Becky is no longer the champion. Now, she's entitled to a rematch as WWE rules go, but there's also a chance that either Charlotte or possibly Ronda can interfere in that match. Now, the thing is, Ronda is the Raw Women's Champion. She interfered in a SmackDown Women's Championship match. So, if we're going by fairness, Ronda can't interfere in a match between any SmackDown women's roster until the Royal Rumble or another pay-per-view, which kind of just screws both Becky and Charlotte over, unless the shakeup is going to be that, oh, we're bringing back the brand extension. I don't know. So that kind of leaves them in a rut, because if we're supposedly going to be getting this triple threat feud, I'm led to believe right now, as it seems, that we're possibly going to get Ronda versus Becky versus Charlotte. Now, that seems to be the most likely direction they're heading in, maybe for the Royal Rumble. But think about it. Why would, if they're in the Royal Rumble match, usually the WWE Champion and the Universal Champion are not in the Royal Rumble match. As you saw last year, the SmackDown Women's Champion and the Raw Women's Champion were not in the Royal Rumble match. Usually the competitors in that match are also not in the Royal Rumble match. So if you make that match at the Royal Rumble, that puts Asuka, Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch out of the Women's Royal Rumble match. And that just leaves me question, well, who the fuck is going to win the match then? And that's a good thing, because now that leaves me guessing, and I don't know who's going to win. But then the also bad thing is like, okay, you have the Raw Women's Championship picture. Maybe that's going to... What's going on with Asuka? Because if they're going to be feuding with the Raw Women's Champion, what's left for Asuka to do? I mean, think about it. Realistically, at the beginning of the year, Charlotte Flair came into 2018 as a SmackDown Women's Champion. She beat Asuka at WrestleMania, lost the championship to Carmella. Carmella then lost the championship back to Charlotte. Charlotte lost the championship to Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch then lost the championship to Asuka. So over this year, there's only been 4 different champions. And what is Carmella doing right now? A bunch of goddamn nothing. I mean, she's going to be number 30 in a Rumble match, so she can't face off against Asuka. So if Carmella can't face Asuka, and it seems like Becky's probably not getting that rematch with the Royal Rumble, but I might be wrong there. Let's assume she's not. And Charlotte's probably not going to get that rematch. So what is Asuka doing? Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. What is she doing? Because who have they built up this year on the SmackDown Women's roster except for those 4 women I just named? Really no one else. They haven't really built up Billie Kay and Peyton Royce properly, though they debuted back in April. They didn't really build up Lana. They didn't really build up Maria or Maurice or Naomi. They didn't really build up Zelina Vega or Sonya Deville or Mandy Rose to that championship contention. So who else are they going to put in that picture? Unless they're going to rebuild someone back up in that 1 month span, which is possible, because they did the same thing with Asuka, even though if you ask me, I don't think they built her up properly to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. But it just leaves the SmackDown Women's Champion in a very weird place going into the Royal Rumble match with that whole triple threat feud with 2 women who are on completely different brands from the Raw Women's Champion. I just am so confused by that. And then we get back into the Raw Women's Championship picture. So if we're seemingly getting this triple threat feud, I highly doubt they're going to give that all the way at the Royal Rumble. That seems like a WrestleMania main event. So if we assume that's the WrestleMania main event, is going to be Becky Lynch versus Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, that just totally foils the whole Ronda versus Becky thing, because it seems like, okay, let's backtrack a little bit. So it seemed like the plan was always supposed to be Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair WrestleMania 35 until Becky got hurt. Then it got put into Survivor Series. So let's all not forget that WWE is a company that, even though the fans ask for something and they beg and they plead, they will give you exactly what they feel like they should be giving you right now. You could ask all day for a plate of cookies, and if they think that brownies are the best suit, well, guess what? They're gonna give you a plate of fucking brownies. So I don't think that WWE is totally just gonna cast out the fact that they just did Ronda versus Charlotte. Now I'm starting to believe that, okay, they're still gonna go with Ronda versus Charlotte, but now Becky's a part of the picture, and that's fucking wrong. Charlotte Flair really does not need to be a part of that match. She really does not need to be a part of it. So I'm hoping that that's gonna be in the Royal Rumble. But then once again, if we're doing this triple threat ensemble, Becky and Charlotte are instantly out of the Royal Rumble match. Of course, there has been times where the contenders were in the Royal Rumble match, but it's not likely, is my point. Even if Becky and Charlotte then entered themselves in the Royal Rumble match, and I saw a comment in my review yesterday that alluded to the fact that they could do a finish from the 1994 Royal Rumble, where Bret Hart and Lex Luger eliminated each other and basically were co-winners of the Royal Rumble that year. And you know what? That is a very, 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 very realistic possibility of that happening. I could totally see them doing some bullshit like that. And I'm just saying, no! Why does Charlotte has to be a part of every fucking thing? Let her be. She's not SmackDown Women's Champion anymore. Let's not act like it. Charlotte is not the end-all be-all. You don't have to put her in every fucking thing. This is the Roman Reigns treatment I keep on talking about. Becky Lynch deservedly should be facing off against Ronda Rousey either at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, and now it seems like Charlotte is being put into that position with her. Why do you keep on doing this to Becky? She deserves better than this. I understand that the whole Nia thing fucked up Becky's push, and it might have been for the better, because if Becky versus Ronda happened at Survivor Series, I imagine Ronda versus Charlotte would have still happened at WrestleMania. So I guess that might have been the best possibility, and all the stars were aligned for this triple threat to happen. But I'm just so confused. I don't know what's going on right now with the SmackDown or Raw Women's Champion. I feel like Asuka winning was just so weird, because it puts the top 4 women in the company in a very weird place. And now they have to build up the rest of the roster. What? They actually have to do something with the rest of the women's roster? Now that's a good thing for them, but it's a very, very, very odd thing for these 4 women. I don't watch Raw or SmackDown, but I will be watching it going into the Rumble, as I will be attending, so I will be seeing what they're going to be doing next. Of course, Vince McMahon is going to be shaking things up tonight on Monday Night Raw, so I'll be tuning in for that as well. Comment down below what you guys think, or what do you guys think is going to happen. Let me know. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.